So Spurs fans, 11 cup finals for us now, starting with Fulham away tomorrow, a game we haven't won in years away at Fulham. Um, it's a game we shouldn't really fear. Fulham, they're not a hostile environment. They play in a nice old stadium next to the River Thames. They're not a dirty team. They're just quite a nice team. Very inconsistent. A team we shouldn't really fear, stadium we shouldn't really fear, and fans we shouldn't really fear. But you know what's going to happen. Dr. Tottenham will turn up and just they won't surprise us at all. They'll just perform how they usually perform and get beat. I just don't think we've got the fighters to stay in this league. I would love us to stay up. I don't want to be negative. I think we've got some good players, but I just think for a relegation battle, we don't have the players that have been there and done it. West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Leeds have got players that have been there in relegation battles and they know how to get out of it. Which players of ours do, know how to get out of it? Which players of ours have been in relegation battles? I just don't see any of them. I think a lot of the players have checked out. They don't want to be here anymore. This is worrying times. I see the training video of Ida Tudor with the Spurs players. None of them looked fit. And you got to say, what was Thomas Frank doing at Spurs with the players? What was Justin Cochrane doing with the players? I mean, he's the assistant manager of England. What was he doing with those players at Spurs? And it's just a complete mess. Those players are an absolute disgrace. The ones that are playing for us now. If they want to leave at the end of the season, then let them leave. It's fine. We'll rebuild again, whether we're in the league or not. But have a bit of self-pride for yourself. You don't want to have a relegation on your CV. These players will find other clubs. They'll always find other clubs, managers. Other managers will take them, like the Ramirez, the Van der Vens. They'll be going. No matter what, I think they're gone. But you don't want to have a relegation in your CV. You need to have a bit of pride in yourself. And Fulham are a bit of a funny side. A side we can beat. You can get at them. They do lose games. They win games. They draw games. But we need to have a bit of a belief in our play and just go and take the game to Fulham. But I just think we're scared now. The players are scared. They've already checked out. It's a bit scary, really, if you think about it. I really hope we can get a result tomorrow. I just don't see it happening. And all this rubbish about ENIC are going to change the wage structure at Spurs. I believe it when I see it. I just don't, what's going to happen if we go down? There's all these pundits saying, we're not going to go down. I put a bet on with my mate to say, I bet on Spurs going down. I don't want to bet on Spurs going down, but I just think we will. And he thinks Spurs won't, so I put a bet on it. There's all these pundits and people saying Spurs won't go down, but you're never too big to go down. You're never too good to go down. And I think there's been clubs in the past like the West Hams and the Leeds that have had better sides than us. Even Leicester a few years ago, they've got a better side than this lot. And they went down. So why can't we? We are Tottenham, and in my opinion, we are a massive club. But we're not a massive team. The team are not good enough. The team are relegation candidates. We've gone from Europa League winners to relegation candidates in a few months. But even last season, that team, it's pretty much the same team, minus a couple of who have left, but pretty much the same team. But it's very worrying times. As a Spurs fan, I'm very worried. I don't know how we've got in this situation. But it's all down to the ownership. It's all down to the ownership. Yeah, it's management as well, but they've been the managers in. It is all down to the ownership. It's a very scary time to be a Spurs fan. I am worried about tomorrow, and I'm worried for the rest of the season. I just want the season to end now. I love football and I love Tottenham, but I just want the season to end now. I'll be happy if the season ended now and just managed to stay up by the skin of our teeth. don't think the Champions League is going to help us. A bit of a unnecessary distraction. But you can imagine we won the Champions League and went down. Would you take that? How weird would that be? But yeah, but what do you think, Spurs fans? Drop your comments below and give me a like and subscribe, and come on, you Spurs.